Hey, welcome back to Hat Guy with the Picks. So, last evening, University of Louisiana Monroe made me eat my words. They were a 23.5 point underdog and won that game by 13, 29-16. Not really sure what happened in that game, but I can tell you what, that bottom-ranked team definitely didn't play like a bottom-ranked team, and that took the channel to 5-1 now, which is still at an 83% win rate. Small sample, but an 83% win rate. The game we're going to focus on in the NFL is the Colts at Tennessee. And Tennessee giving the line right now being at 5.5. The line opened up at 3 and it's moved to 5.5. Wentz right now, he's still questionable. And I'll be very surprised if he doesn't play. He don't have one sprained ankle. Carson Wentz has 2 sprained ankles. And they thought the left foot was a high-grade, high ankle sprain. And further picture shows that he suffered 2 sprained ankles late in the fourth quarter. Last week, the Colts played the Rams at home. The Colts were getting 4 points in that game. They lost that game 27-24. And the Colts covered. They fought back to get to that score. The Rams had that game handily almost the whole game. Colts showed a lot of fight. But when the game ended, they came up on the short end of the stick. Wentz finished 23-31 for 274 yards, 247 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jonathan Taylor, he had 15 rushes for 51 yards. Pittman had 12 targets. He had 8 grabs. And out of those 8 grabs, he got 123 yards. The tight end, Jack Doyle, he had 5 grabs for 64 yards. And Zach Pascal had 5 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown. Colts defense, they had 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. Other side of the ball last week, the Titans. The Titans, last week, they were getting 6.5 points on the road at Seattle. High-powered Seattle team. Did great damage in the first week. Did great damage in the first half of this game. Seattle, they jumped on them. It was a score of 24-9 at halftime. They were up 15 points. Tennessee came out of the second half. They came out on a mission. Henry ran in a 9-yard touchdown in the third to move it to 24-16. And in the fourth, Seattle scored quick to go up 30-16. They were up 14 points. The next possession, Henry ran another touchdown and found the pay dirt from 60 yards out to make it 30-23. And with 29 seconds left in that game, Derrick Henry showed up again, finding a pay dirt from 1 yard out to tie the game and to push it to overtime. In Tennessee, they They finished it off with the 36-yard field goal to complete the comeback, and it was a hell of a comeback. Tannehill finished 27 of 40 for 347 yards. Henry finished with 35 carries for 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's what you call a bell cow running back. You just don't find running backs who are going to tote the ball 35 times anymore. It doesn't happen. And he also added 6 catches out of the backfield for another 55 yards. I mean, you're talking 237 total yards and 3 touchdowns. You ain't gonna find much better stats the rest of the year. That's that'll be in the top 3% of running backs on a weekly performance. Julio Jones, he led the receivers with 6 catches for 128 yards. The Tennessee defense, which is typically bottom tier, and they were definitely bottom tier in the first half, the D had 3 sacks. The defense in the second half was the biggest surprise, by far. They gave up 38 points to the Cardinals. 30 points to Seattle, which is a 34-point average at the bottom of the barrel. And they came out in Seattle with the 12th man in the crowd at the loudest stadium in the NFL and shut that offense down in the second half and limited them to 6 points in the fourth quarter. That's all. It's definitely a big turnaround for that defense. That's a big confidence booster. That should get them going. I think it will get them going. I don't think it should. I think it will get them going. What that defense did in the second half, I mean, it was great. It was. What I see in this game, he threw for 347 yards. He ran for 182 yards. You want to talk about a well-balanced offense? That's what you call a well-balanced offense. I see another well-balanced game. High-powered offense again. And I also think the defense, they're going to give up some points. There's no doubt about that. The Colts will score some points. But I do believe that Tennessee's defense will catch up to the play at some point and eventually slow down the Colts enough to outscore them and to get the cover. I see this as around a 10 to 12 point win. There's no doubt that Tennessee has the better, I want to say much better talent on that team rather than the Colts. In just about every area except for the defensive side. And I look for him to get it done at home. Make it a back-to-back win, a start of a mini streak that they could continue to build on. I mean, you're talking about a playoff team from last year that put everything all together at the right time, went into the playoffs and was making noise. I see this team doing that. I seen them do it last week, and I'm sure that they're going to do it again this week. That crowd will be rocking. Derrick Henry will be picking up yards in big chunks. You'll see Julio Jones and A.J. Brown catching balls. It should be a fun game to watch, especially if you're a Titans fan. So the pick is take the Tennessee Titans minus the points, which is at 5.5 points. The pick is Tennessee Titans minus the 5.5. I ask that you please like this video, comment on the video. Please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I drop a video. Now let's shake off last night and let's get back to getting this money.